That helps us understand that we are not dealing with a sentence that asks us, okay, now, come on, fast, quick, tell me, what are the causes? Quick, tell me, what are the solutions? Quick, do it, right now, tell me. It's not like that. Take your time, analyze your strategies. So it doesn't matter if you're preparing for IELTS General Training module or the academic module. Either way, topics related to university and education are very popular at IELTS. So you might want to buckle up because today we are going to assess a Task 2 essay at IELTS Juice. So let's start assessing one essay today, and it starts in this rubric. In my country, oh, no, not in my country. In many countries, today there are many highly qualified graduates without employment. The story of many countries, right? Probably in your country as well. Well, let's see. What factors may have caused this situation and what, in your opinion, should be done about it? I understand the topic. The topic is the first line. And the topic has always this space, and then you have the essay type. This is the second part, which we call it an essay type. So, but I have one thing to say about the topic and one thing about the essay type. The topic has this generic look at countries and the number of graduates that are really qualified, but they cannot find a job. That's the reality. This is something we need to address. So it's not too personalized, and it kind of stops. The scale of the essay stands at the country's level. It's something you might want to consider, you know. The second thing, the essay type tells me to say what factors may have caused this situation. So basically, IELTS wants us to say what elements, plural, caused this phenomenon. We need to look back a bit in history and find the roots. So if on this part is my this is my left. So if my left is past and my right is the future, so my left is the past and my right is the future, all right? So if I look at the past, I need to find the causes that contributed to the phenomenon that it is right now in the present. That is the first part of the question. And the second part says, what should be done about it? Now we need to look to the future and think, all right, this is whatever it is right now. This is the fact. This is the phenomenon right now. It's here. There are highly educated people who cannot find a job. Fine, that's where we are. What can we do about it in the following months or in the following years? So what strategies, policies, I don't know, ideas, things that we need to do to get out of this problem and come up with some solutions. So this part, again, things that should be done, has a little glance at the future, or has a look towards the future, all right? That helps us understand that we are not dealing with a sentence that asks us, okay, now, come on, fast, quick, tell me, what are the causes? Quick, tell me, what are the solutions? Quick, do it, right now, tell me. It's not like that. Take your time, analyze your strategies. Why are we doing this? Simple. Because when you look at past, you know which grammar to use. You can use present perfect, and in some cases you might use past simple, you might use past perfect, No one knows, but you know that your grammatical structures are limited to the elements that I just mentioned. And when you look at the future, you know you have some other items. You might have you can use the first conditional sentence. If government does this, or if people do this, then this will happen. Or you can come up with future structures, with will, with might, and you can speculate. It is going to happen, some things like that. And again, your options are going to be limited this way. And you can always use present simple for all three elements. That's fine. But knowing this will help us understand how to manage our essay. Anyway, let's start assessing the essay together. Nowadays, it is significant that more and more professional graduated adults are unemployed over the world. That's a good sentence. That's a good opening. I am of the opinion, that's a nice way of saying in my opinion, or I think, or I believe, or I suppose, that this has three major causes. Oh, I have a colon here. Economic factors, highly competitive environment. I need another comma. It's called a listing comma, and the advanced technologies. Not the advanced technologies, advanced technologies. It doesn't make sense because it's the first time we're hearing the advanced technologies. Maybe you actually are referring to certain technologies and you're saying, no, the technologies. But we don't, this is the very first time, so there is no reference. We don't have prior information, so it's best to generalize and say advanced technologies, and later on you can define what type of technologies you actually want to mention. And in the following sentences you can say the before advanced technologies. To begin with, economic development. You see, this is the first item. Now this is the sequential organization of your essay. I, as a reader, I'm fully aware that in this paragraph, I'm going to read about the economic factor of this phenomenon, which is one of the root causes that contributed to the state we are in right now, to the status quo. So I am looking at my left-hand side, and it's something that has taken place before that contributed to where we are right now. Economic development has a huge influence over the job market, since in a healthy, I need to separate and healthy. In a healthy economy, I need another comma, there are many active business sectors and a broad range of companies operating, not operated, because companies is the subject. Companies which operate. Now you contracted, this is contracted relative clause. It's an advanced grammatical structure. There is an attempt to do that, but it's not correct. Operating on the market. This was supposed to be the topic sentence, but it's a very long topic sentence. It's more than 50% of the paragraph. So this is not a good topic sentence. I needed a sentence like for the beginning. To begin with, like economic development has a huge influence over the job market. Period. Good. And then you carry on. The influence is due to the healthy economy or the absence of a healthy economy in many of these business sectors. And then you carry on with the other arguments and messages. On the other hand, if a country struggles with I didn't need this, a poor economy, comma, there is the lowest potential to find a job after graduation. Because, oh gosh, these sentences never end. Because we don't need a comma. It's a complex making the word, so you must continue. Because of deficit, that's a good word, of companies and working positions. Deficit may have other meanings. I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just saying it's not the best choice here. Deficit of companies probably means this the absence or lack of companies and job positions, because again, working positions may have another meaning. We need some, vacancies. So you're looking for employment opportunities. Okay. Yeah, the vocabulary needs a little bit more work here. It conveys the message to some extent, but there is definitely room for improvement. So the second paragraph, let me guess, is going to be about the competitive environment. Let's see. Another distributor is somebody who, it's like if a factory produces, I don't know, chocolate cake, and then another company might come into contract with this chocolate cake factory, and they will bring the other company will bring their trucks, and they take loads of these cakes and they distribute them around the country or maybe around the world. So that's a distributor. Maybe another contributor would be a high competitive environment. I think that was the word, and this is not the exact word we wanted to hear. Anyway, another contributor would be a high competitive environment. Because of increased supply on the job market, competition on one position in one position has dramatically risen. Okay, understandably, this is the case when there is high demand, then you have higher competition. For example, in my country, you need to shift this comma all the way down here, or maybe after that, 20 years ago. And it's better to say, for example, 20 years ago in my country, and then you put a comma. That's more natural sounding. There was only one university with a business faculty. Oh, and it was very simple to find a proper job after graduation. Cool. Even knowledge of English language, I need a semicolon here. Even knowledge of English language was an advantage for a job seeker. Oh, not that it wasn't an advantage. I love the word job seeker, by the way. In contrast, today, I need another comma. Many universities operate in this field, and the standard and requirements of business-related jobs have significantly increased. Present perfect. I totally understand. I get it. Maybe we could still continue with our example of English language and mention that now English language is no longer an advantage, but it is mandatory, or it's obligatory, or you have to have an English language degree or a certificate. And that's why you are here watching watching IELTS Juice YouTube channel, to learn how to pass your IELTS so that you have a certificate telling everyone in the world, on the planet, that your English level is very high and you can communicate with people at work clearly and correctly. Third body paragraph, let me cheat. So let's see, the third one, the advanced technologies. All right, so let's see which technologies we're talking about. Finally, technology, you see, the technology may affect the employment rates of graduates. That's a good topic sentence. Achievements in modern technology tend to decrease human involvement in many areas of business operation. Semicolon. Consequently, comma, some positions previously occupied by humans, another comma, this one means which have been previously occupied by humans. I like this. I like this. There is deep knowledge and very good control. I see the potential. It's just, it needs a little bit more work, a little bit more supervision, a little bit more practice. And these sentences, if they're executed correctly, they will just blow the examiner's mind. Their minds will not be blown, don't worry. I'm just saying, at least they will blow my mind. I will read them gladly and I will enjoy reading every single one of them. Have been disappearing. Have been disappearing. This is correct. This is correct. This is present perfect continuous. You see, guys? You see, you see how well it is when you know the things that have contributed, when you look to the past and you know which grammar to use. Now doors will be open to you. Instead of just present perfect, you now can use also present perfect progressive or continuous. Both names are okay. For instance, a couple of years ago, finance departments, I need a comma. For instance, a couple of years ago, you need to just shift this comma all the way to here, because finance departments is your, the whole thing is your subject. Finance departments were full of analysts, while now data science provides, another comma, data science provides most of the report, forecast, and analysis. Yes, analyses is the plural of analysis. So I will write the spelling here for you. So it's analyses. It's a, how do you call it? It's an irregular plural form. All right, now another paragraph. I expect in this paragraph, we're going to look to the future and we are going to say, all right, this is where we are right now. What are we going to do? That's exactly where we are in this essay. There are, however, certain measures that can be taken to tackle unemployment of qualified graduates. First of all, governments, probably all governments, pluralize it, should support the economy to increase sector diversity, and strengthen each sector with positive changes in the law and taxation. I like these words. I just don't know how. I love the word. I love the vocabulary. As a result, companies will begin profit and expand their operations, will begin earning profit and expand their operations. Another solution would be work export. Yeah, I'm not sure about the terminology. It's like workforce, exporting workforce. Nowadays, many global platforms again, we generalize, many platforms offer a marketplace to freelancers to implement individual projects and tasks remotely, no matter where they live. This would be the best solution for unemployed professionals, especially from underdeveloped countries where the working places are strictly limited. Workplaces is a better word than working places. To sum up, unemployment can be slowed if, I'm not sure if we need a comma here, if the government and the private sector and individuals okay, so if all right, understood. So no comma, if the government, comma, the private sector, comma, and individuals will look in a coordinated way, will work in a coordinated way. 358 words. I don't like the conclusion. It's all one sentence. It's not a paragraph. It should at least be two sentences to form a healthy paragraph. So we needed another sentence. You can come up with a speculation, but something, again, related to the topic. Let's look at the band descriptors. Okay. So the good news is that task response is fully addressed and developed. We mentioned 3 elements for why we are here and we are experiencing this situation that many educated people are unemployed. And then we mentioned 2 solutions of opening platforms for freelancers and also governments working on the economy. And they were developed very well. We had 3 paragraphs for each element, and we also had 1 paragraph for both of the solutions. So basically, the rubric is addressed and fully developed. There is nothing else to talk about it. The organization of the response was sequential. At any moment in the essay, I really knew where I was, what I'm about to read, what I just read, and what will happen next in the next paragraph. Everything was clear in that regard. We also had a range of coercive devices. The coercive devices were correct. The punctuation was a little bit, not accurate all the time. But the punctuation falls under grammatical range and accuracy, and that's why it is 6. We had some complex structures. We wanted to use we wanted to use reduced relative clause, some advanced grammatical structures, and it wasn't done perfectly. There were errors. So that's why grammatical range and accuracy stays at 6. And as for coherence and cohesion, we only had some instances of not correct referencing. I didn't know, like the technologies, or there was a part of, there was a missing they in the sentence. So these were the elements that, well, you don't know who the word refers to or what this means or that means. Not very confusing, but it wasn't natural either. And that's why, and some of the words like distributor, it doesn't refer to distributors. Actually, the word was contributors. So it doesn't refer to distributors, it actually affects contributors. And the vocabulary was okay, the range was sufficient. I didn't see many genre-specific words, but I saw very good words. Many uncommon words, but it wasn't to the extent that you could say wide. You might think to yourself, what makes it wide or sufficient? There are multiple variations. You cannot put a number to it. You cannot attach a number and say, yeah, if there are, I don't know, for example, 18 uncommon words for each essay, it is wide. There are multiple elements, and each essay is different from another. We have different word counts. So it is very proportional to the number of words you see per essay and the number of uncommon words you see, again, per essay. And the quality of those words also matter. So there is a lot to consider when you decide if it's sufficient or wide. All in all, grammar, punctuation, advanced grammatical points and punctuation had more errors than vocabulary, and that's why it stays at 6. None of the errors confused me as the reader. I totally understood all the messages perfectly, so no problem in that regard. And on that note, I guess, because this has already been a very long video, I think you understood the gist of how your essay can sequentially present you with the necessary information to fully develop the response. And I'm sure you're going to implement whatever you learned in this video after watching it onto your next report, essay, or letter. And they are going to be your very good representatives. On that note, I wish you a lovely day ahead.